This is our channel all about board games.
And more board games.
On Monday, we took part in our local board game cafe Shuffles. They did like a private event of Blood on the Clock Tower. So we thought in today's video we would do a recap and a little review on how the night went.
Yeah, Blood on the Clock Tower is a social deduction game. And basically, a few of you all pick random rolls out of a bag, and a few of you are given evil rolls, a few of you are given good rolls, and you're just trying to sort of either, the evil people are trying to kill off the good people, and the good people are trying to work out who the demons are. It all goes in night and day phases, so in the day you're sort of walking around conspiring or trying to figure out who's who, and then at night you all close your eyes, and some of you are woken up because you do little powers, and the demon gets to kill someone every night as well. But yeah, so we're just going to talk about that.
Yeah.
And how it went.
So Shuffle did a really good, they like made it proper, like the atmosphere. Yeah, it was a closed event, it was only 20 tickets available, it completely sold out.
Yeah.
And they just put so much effort into the theming of it, they just made it.
The game was good anyway, but they took it to another level.
Yeah.
Like they brought in a special like D&D narrator and a helper, and they all dressed up as like old school Undertaker townsfolk.
Yeah.
And they had like bells and a soundtrack, like a haunted soundtrack.
Yeah, and they had set the tables up, so there was 3 taverns which had like, it was all like dark and it had like candles lit on the table.
You could go there and like conspire and whisper, and you could like do stuff, and it was really good.
Yeah,
and then,
that was like, you could take people there to have a secret conversation to try and figure out who the demon was.
And what was what, and then it had like a town hall where you could make speeches and vote for people, and he sat there with like even the books they used were all like old leather and
leather bound.
Yeah, and they had all like they all like write like bits of string holding them together. It was really good. And then they had like the main like town village where you sort of sat, voted, slept and stuff.
You would sleep at night.
Yeah, the game was amazing. We never really played social deduction games at home or anything because we don't really have enough people to play with.
Yeah.
So we played One Night Werewolf, but it's really simple. This is like a really in-depth version of that.
Yeah.
One of our favourite mechanics was there was a poisoner, and he could poison people. And if he poisoned someone, and any information they asked the narrator for at night, because he was allowed to give you certain information, like, is this person evil next to me,
depending
or is
on which character you was. Some characters didn't wake up at night, but there was good and there was bad characters that woke up at night.
And some could find out certain facts. But if you were ever poisoned or drunk, then the information he gave you was incorrect.
Yeah.
So, like, he would be like, these two come up evil, like everyone's like, oh, we need to vote for them, but they could be completely wrong.
Yeah.
And they ended up because they ended up killing one of the good people.
Yeah.
Because they got the information wrong.
So the person who believed he was the fortune teller was actually the drunk. But you don't find out you're a drunk until the very end of the game. So he was constantly feeding information
to the good people,
but they were wrong. It was wrong information.
And it was really funny. I'm trying to think what else to say about it.
So when we started the game. Well, it went round the 20 people, and you picked a token out of the hat,
secretly,
and that was your character. So it was all secretly done. Luckily enough, I got the imp, which was like the least.
The lead bad guy, the main one that they're trying to find.
Which was the least character I wanted to pick.
But lucky enough, I got the spy.
Yeah.
So we ended up starting together, and so I get to see the grimoire, which tells me who everybody is, what every person's role is, every single night. So I was just feeding her information, and I was spreading lies around everywhere. So I kept telling everybody that like this guy had said he was this, when I knew he wasn't. He had told he was something else to someone else. So then they were just eliminating their own players.
Yeah, and I had told everyone that I was the soldier, and because of Jason's false information he was handing out, the actual soldier looked very unbelievable.
And the soldier, his role, he can't be killed by the demon. So the only way to get rid of him is to make sure the town votes him out to be executed.
Yeah.
And so I kept spreading, and at one point I told people, he told me 4 different roles. So they voted him out, and he ended up dying. He was like, I'm the soldier. It was really funny. It was just amazing. Yeah. It was one of the best gaming experiences we've had in ages.
Yeah. We did manage, my sister was also playing, but she was a good person, but we did manage to make
her part of our team, and she was good, and she was a slayer, so she was allowed to use 1 bullet in the whole game to kill the demon at any point, and we managed to make her waste it on the soldier, and she really believed we were like the good team. And I think that's what kept us in it so much, because like she was good and everyone believed she was good at one point, especially after.
She was going around telling everyone that she 100% believed me and that I wouldn't lie to her.
Yeah, the roles are all really good, and what's really good as well is that when you die, you're not out like certain other games. You're a ghost, so you don't get any more information from the narrator or anything, but you can still spread any information you know. And certain roles, if you die, you then find out other information. And they also get one ghost vote. So in the rest of the game, they have one more vote where they can like try and use it. It was very close. We nearly won. We nearly won as the bad team.
Yeah,
it
there
just
were six people left.
When it got tight, it was so hard to try and like balance it. And
I think if I had made it to one more night, we would have done it, because Jason had convinced everyone that he was the saint.
And basically, if the saint is executed by the village, then the good guys lose. So I made everyone believe that I was the saint. So there was too much of a risk, even if they didn't believe me. There was too much of a risk for them to kill me off, because they could lose the game.
And as a demon, I could kill myself at night and pass it on to one of my other minions. So my plan that next night was to kill myself and pass it over to Jason, because he had made everyone believe he was the saint.
So they were never going to execute me, and then we would have won. But we was just one vote. They ended up voting that
Andrew.
night. Yeah, because of Andrew, the ghost. One of the ghosts ended up doing like a...
He just randomly shouted out my name. And
then the villagers were like, yeah, let's get her. And then they ended up getting her by luck, and it was like, no. But yeah,
such a good
you should really try it out. And like I said, like the game was good and the mechanics amazing, but Shuffle just did it. They even made like special cocktails.
Yeah, they had made like poison apple
and Nightshade from
Deadly Nightshade as well. So
it was really good, and they just did it all. The soundtrack was amazing. They had like these bells, and they would always seem to just randomly go off.
Yeah, so if you're local to Bury St Edmunds,
even if you're not, it's
or
worth
if you're not
the travel.
and you're willing to travel, they do these nights. They are planning to do these nights more often. So
they've got 3 spaces left on the 29th.
Yeah,
last
there's
time
another
I checked.
one on the 29th. There's 3 spaces.
So we're doing that again, because that was so fun. I think what made it really good as well is when it's with your friends. I think you already know the person a bit, so you sort of it's easier to pick up on them lying.
Yeah.
Where when it's 20 strangers, it was so hard to sort of...
You didn't know them.
Yeah, you didn't know them, you didn't know anything about them, you didn't know their mannerisms. So trying to deduce whether they were lying or tell the truth, if they were innocent, if they were good, it was so hard. And that's what made it good, though. I think that's what made it really, really fun. And everyone, you could see everyone conspiring. Like at the first 3, 4, 5 rounds, everyone was sort of like, oh yeah, let's talk about this, let's vote for this. But then it was like, everyone would wake up and be like, looking at each other, and I'd wake up and be looking me in the eye, like trying to see, and it was like, it got really like, oh, everyone really wants to win this now.
And people would take a group to one of the tavern tables and they'd be having a conversation, and you would go to join and they'd be like, oh no, don't come over here, you're poison.
Yeah, you're dark, you're evil, and everyone sort of started to mistrust each other, and then at the very end, when they revealed that Charlotte was a demon, her sister, I've never seen shock and disappointment, and just, she was like, I can't believe it.
She will never trust me again.
No, and both of us, and everyone was like, you made us believe you were a saint. I was like, yeah, I know. But, 100% recommend the game. Like, it's not something we play a lot because we don't have the people to play it, but, like, it was one of the best games. Like I said on that night, if you own a like escape room place, you should get this game and you should set up some nights, because 100%. It was so fun and it was so fun.
And if you are like us and you don't have the play account to play it yourself at home, then try and arrange something with like your local
board game
if you have
shop.
A local board game community or local board game cafe, like try and get them to arrange it, because it really was amazing. It was one of our best board gaming experiences. It was
but
so
I do need
fun.
to put hats off to
Shuffle, if
Shuffle.
You can get to Shuffle.
And the narrators, they were
Shuffle.
brilliant. He was brilliant, the narrator. Like every death he described in depth, and he just made it. And he's allowed to sort of like play on the game as well, so you can ask him certain bits, and it's up to him, his choice as a storyteller to twist and turn the game. And he was excellent, and his little helper was brilliant, because obviously at night you get tapped on the shoulder and you wake up while everyone's closed and you do whatever you do, but people obviously will suspect you if they can hear footsteps. So his helper, like wore really loud shoes and was walking around all the time, so you never really knew where they were because there was noise here, and then you would tap and you were like, "What? The noise is over there."
Yeah.
And so they just did an amazing job. Like it was so good, and just the way they presented it and the way he did it was amazing.
Yeah, the narrator as well. So when someone died, he would then so you'd all wake up and no one knows who got killed in the night.
Yeah.
So then he would say your name and be like, "So did you go peacefully?"
Yeah,
and not off a script, just from his head. He would just go on a full description
of what happened.
Of how they would say, "Oh no, I went like."
Screaming and then he'd be like, "From dawn it wakes up," and I could hear the screams.
He was like, "You slept quite well last night, but you woke up early," and then he would go on a full description of how this person got killed. Your skin was flayed, you were like a tent at one point. Your sister was murdered and she looked like a tent by the end of it. And it was just really, really good, and they were just so excellent at it. And her sister's not a big gamer, and like never done anything like D&D or anything, so we were sort of a bit different. We were worried if she was going to think, "Oh, this is a bit nerdy," but it was just so theatrical and amazing, and it made you really for the next month
and invited her friend along. Who
I don't think plays board games either. So it's not like it's just for board gamers.
No, it was so much fun. I think anyone would enjoy it, and if you just drop out your comfort zone a little bit, like because you were a bit nervous about 20 strangers.
I didn't know the people.
But once I got into it, I was like on it. I was like spreading lies here, going to this person, telling this person they said this, and I was like yes, and then watching them do it, watching them go and vote, and I was like, this is all me.
I was nervous about being around people that didn't know. I was also nervous that I'm really bad at lying usually, so I was like, I just don't want to be. I don't want to be the demon. Like that's the one thing that I didn't want to be because I thought I'd make the game end too soon. But
your sister asked me at one point if she thinks it's you, and I was like, no, because the person's been too intelligent with their kills. They've been killing the right people at the right time. And she was like, yeah, and I was like, yeah. But no, definitely, I recommend going Shuffle. Like I said, like I can't see anyone outdoing them. They did it so well, and the narrators were brilliant, and I can't wait for the next one. But
yeah. I've tried other board game cafes in general, not just for this game, and nothing compares to Shuffle.
No, the guys are awesome.
The guys are amazing there, and it's just such a chilled.
Like everyone left that place feeling like friends. Like I'm happy to go with them again and play that game again, and it would be like sort of funny.
Yeah, and the Shuffle have like a community. Facebook group as well, and that we've been talking on there with the other people we played with because they put a big post up saying like who was there, say hi and stuff.
But I left the place with the biggest smile ever. Like, I couldn't stop talking about it.
Which is why I wanted to do this video because we're still now a couple of days later still like oh my god, like
it's an excellent game.
Night. We can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, brilliant game.
Brilliant game, yeah.
Definitely worth checking out.
Definitely try it out, yeah, definitely.
Yep. Nothing scrub.
But yeah, so that was our little small recap and review of Blood on the Clock Tower. If you like this video and would like to see more from us, then please hit the like and subscribe button.
Yep.
And yeah, thanks for watching.
Bye.